Hello and welcome back to RailRoads Online. So today we are here. Had to fill up Betsy as it absolutely ran out of water, 100%. Would have totally exploded. Yeah, it was totally out of water, so we're still filling that up. It's been sitting here for a little bit, letting it do its thing as the sun rises. We did turn around and earn enough to pick up a new locomotive. So then the big question is, which one do we go with? Did get a suggestion for Eureka, although I think we're looking for a little more oomph on the hills to get away from trying to have to run every locomotive we have. So I think the debate is kind of down to the Class 48 here or the 10 mile. Also, Mosca finds itself in the swing just based on price and tractive effort. So kind of a toss up there. Do get the speed with Mosca, but I think it's really down to the 48 or the 10 mile. 10 mile, I think, definitely has a few more applications where I see it being used. The 48, I think, is kind of limited just with its wood supply. And so I think sticking it on cordwood this time. We had a 10 mile on last time, so I'm kind of thinking that we'll go with the Class 48. Haven't had one for a while, so be nice to get it out and play with one. No options on the headlights or the tinders or anything. Only smokestack has an option. No tinder at all for this thing, but no paint or headlight options is what I really was kind of getting at there. This will be our third locomotive. Don't need a tinder name. And this one we're just gonna go nice and simple. So there we go. And cool. Number 3 F and B, and we are ready to go. Bam. Class 48 new locomotive. Really, I haven't had one of these for, I don't know, been at least an entire playthrough. I know I didn't have one on the last playthrough at all, so this be groovy. Always been kind of a pain in the butt putting wood in the Class 48. Kind of shocked that this one didn't get switched over to coal. I guess nice advantages, we will now have a rear headlight. We will have the rear-facing headlight there, which will be kind of nice for switching in the dark. Looks like we can definitely get on with nighttime operations a little easier. One thing I was a little disappointed in with Montezuma is that the headlight, yes, it works out front, but you really have no headlight in the back, so it's still not super great for nighttime operations. It'll get it done if you're finishing a load, but it sure doesn't make it any easier to see hooking up to things or anything like that. So the 48 should definitely make that a little bit easier. Guess while we're doing this, we might as well, that one's got to come up to temp. Hopefully, yeah, now she's nice and full. Let's see. Close. And you can go up. Drop it in a water tower when you already have a locomotive in the way is always a thing. Now that we could have moved it with the locomotive attached to the back, but it was just easier to drop her right where it sits, so that's really why that water tower is there, as it was completely empty. I don't know that I've ever absolutely ran one out of water before, so I think that was the first. Like, the boiler pressure just died. I'm like, what? Go figure. But that's what that was. Set that there. This is going to get a little lighter as the cordwood is definitely going to come off the back. Although I guess we could just keep running this unique setup with throw the 48 on the back, probably make it a heck of a lot easier. But this is going to actually be so we can start trying to get some cordwood down to the smelter, even though the track really is, I don't know, going to have to totally do some different stuff, because just running down the hill the way we didn't line up the way that I wanted it to. So then I don't really know what we're going to do with the track down there. Things are definitely going to have to totally get switched around, but that'll all come in time. Not in a big hurry on this one to do anything. Have no problem turning around and reworking and relaying out some things. This definitely is just going to be kind of a chill, wing it. Kind of try to take it from the start. Few things you can't help but know, but try not to do this one too much like there's some big overall pre-laid plan, because there's not. So on the time that we decide to go in whatever direction we are just gonna go, it's just how it is. And then just kind of lay the track more like it would be if you were coming in the first time, don't necessarily know where everything should go, would go, or what makes it the easiest. That's kind of the attempt behind this layout. Run it in the fast 15 minutes when you're laying track. Just do it under the daytime laying of track and see what happens. So we will definitely be moving a few things around as we go. Hopefully we can get this thing warmed up in a reasonable time frame. Steam locomotives, not known for quick jump in and go. We are good. Everything is built up. Hard to argue with the acceleration of the Class 48. This thing has always been like instant top speed. Don't know if they were really like that or what. Can't imagine that they took off that fast, or it would have been some crazy locomotive in history. But this thing in the game certainly does go for top speed as fast as possible. It's got to be one of the fastest accelerating locomotives in the game, if not the fastest. Not saying it's the fastest overall, because it's definitely not, unless something's changed, but it hard pressed to beat the acceleration on the 48, that's for sure. Oops. Probably flip any of the right switches. And this thing does have a very nice, deep, throaty whistle, which has always been kind of cool. Alright. What do we got going on back here? Oh, blink, pin. We're all good. Just gotta hit our mark. Yeah, so see, this light's gonna help a lot when it comes to nighttime re-railing or hookups. There we go. Everything should be disconnected back there. Holy Hannity. The light is a thing. Always been in the way. Pain in the butt. Alright, there we go. Hooked up and out. Still have an oddball number of cars, which kind of sucks. But whatever, 220 bucks left. We don't have enough to do anything about it anyway. Although now we can actually get to moving. All of our stacks legitimately have a locomotive to move them, and we can run now multiple trains at a time. We'll be doing more of that coming up lately. Not sure exactly how many moving trains this one will support. We did have two running not too long ago, and that didn't seem to be a problem, but timing out from the depot to the sawmill and then logging camp to sawmill, you can actually keep that flowing pretty well once you start throwing in stuff to the smelter that's got to run through. Who knows, that's weird, but eventually I'd like to turn around and get a smelter loop that's all off on its own and really doesn't come through the sawmill, and see if we can't alleviate some of the traffic problem that becomes the smelter. So we'll just have to see. Alright. 48, now that it seems like wood burns up a lot faster. I don't know how this locomotive is going to be in the long run with this wood stack. We'll just have to kind of see. I know Betsy made it this far with no water and no wood, and to be honest, I could probably retire Betsy as of today and not need it anymore, which may be just a thing. I don't know. I had to put water in it because I felt bad that it was out of water, but almost just stuck it on the side of the track and called it retired. So we'll just have to see how much we keep filling locomotives, if we fill locomotives, or if we just get new ones as we run out. We'll have to see what the money stock goes for. I know later in the game, I tend to do that. You start running low on something, I just go buy a new locomotive. I don't worry about filling stuff up. So usually the game kind of facilitates that you have enough money and stuff to do that. Checking on the track, which track looks good. 48 just kind of ripping right along. I don't know, derailing seems to be like, not that you can't derail if you run into something, but I don't know, with the beta or on this beta, it seems like the cars wibble and wobble, but they sure in the heck don't fall down, you know? I mean, I don't know. You see a lot of rocking, but you don't see a lot of derailing. The only time I've derailed is from slamming into trees, I guess. Otherwise, I haven't had any kind of issues at all. And I've been running like some pretty... not what I would normal run for speed, I can say that. But it seems like they, at least with Betsy and Montezuma, that they'll wobble around, but they don't really seem to fall off the track. At least not pulling that big train, no matter how fast you got the thing going. Had Montezuma on 2 wheels for the better part of this downhill coming out of the sawmill here, and it didn't matter. Rocked all over the joint, but it sure stayed on the track. So I don't know if something's changed in the way that those physics are working with this beta, or if that's, you know, just an adjustment from the speed, or what. Let's see here, you get rockety rock, but that's not even a super bad rock. Still gotta take that switch out of there. 48 should eat this stuff up, no problem. We gotta go all the way around. We're going after cordwood. Keep it going. Hopefully we can get out to the cordwood. At least get to the cordwood by 10. Ooh, that's really close to the building. Class 48's a little bit heftier than the other 2 we've been running. So that might get pretty close to some of the bigger locomotives. Although the 48 is one of the chunkier locomotives. So hopefully the 1024.5 and those aren't any chunkier, although I guess we don't really need to bring them out here, at least if this works. Looks like we're going to hit nightfall before we get a chance to actually fill this one up, so that's going to be a bit of a bummer, though we could just continue right along and probably run a night train now. How is lining this thing up at night? Let's flipping every wrong switch every chance you got today. Definitely got plenty of power. Wow, is that a different animal compared to what we've been running, and never really used a rear facing light before, so at, you know, functioning times. So this is kind of a bit different. Definitely gives us the light we need though, so that's going to be cool. We will definitely be able to run this one all the time, no problem. I find that like just doing enough stuff in the dark sometimes real legitimately is a pain in the butt in the game with no light, so it's kind of nice to actually have some light at night, that's for sure. I think we'll just turn around, probably get these filled up, and then I guess we'll turn around and take care of it on the next one. We don't want to break cycle with the 15-minute cycle too much, even though we were kind of a little slow on the start with this one. But I think we're going to turn around and say at least we got the new locomotive out here, got it hooked up to its stack, and starting to get it loaded. So we'll definitely be ready for that one, the next one. So with that, I think we'll call that a win. Say thanks for tuning in. Remember, if you get a chance, like, share, subscribe. Subscriptions are free, but they sure do help the channel. Y'all have a great day.